All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the perfect lighting and I can't really seem to find it. So please bear with me this morning. Happy Tuesday. We are moving on in the week. First of all, let me just play my theme song so we can come alive just a little bit. All right. We gotta have a theme song. This is essential. This is important. All right, y'all. This is Tuesday. This is the day that the Lord has made. All right. So first and foremost, let me just say a really quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us to see this day. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you not for just the big things, but the small things, dear God. We won't minimize having peace. We won't minimize having family. We won't minimize having friends. We won't minimize having breath. We appreciate you. We love you. We ask for your continuous protection, for your continuous guidance. In your name we pray, amen. Um, don't mean to take you out of church, but just for a minute, Let me just say that I was getting some things together. And of course, like I said, I'm trying to figure out, I got the sun beaming this way. I was trying to get myself situated good enough so that we could, of course, see me without a lot of blockage and lighting on one side. But this is the best that I have today. So thank you so much for bearing with me. There's quite a few things that I found online that I think you all will find. My brother Roosevelt is in the chat calling me an auntie, and I can't front. I'm 40 this year, definitely auntie. In fact, there are moments where people will reach out to me, and I'm thinking, "What time is it?" I'm definitely giving auntie. I tried to prolong it. I tried to act like, "Nah, I ain't auntie." Damn, I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm definitely right there. But Roosevelt, kick rocks, okay? Anyways, I just would like to say that I just want to dive right in. There's quite a few things that's happening very frequently and consistently online. I feel like I have a little bit of a delay as well. Can you guys let me know? Can you step in the chat and let me know what part of the story you're on? Hello? Okay. It could be a delay. It could just be visual. I don't know. But if you're in the building, can you just let me know? I would like to see you in the chat so I can know what's happening. Let me know where you're from, where you're at, if you tuned in. If you are not, I would like to know. Anyways, moving right along. I read this story and I want to share it with you because you know my motto, don't take my word for it when I'm going to let you see it for yourself. So recently, 23andMe, which is one of those DNA companies, if you can see it, put in DNA in the chat. Put DNA in the chat. If you can see the article, if you can see the story, put DNA in the chat.
But its fortunes have declined in recent years. It suffered a data breach.
All right, cool. Thank you, Bernard. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Alexis, Felicia. I appreciate that. DNA in the chat. All right, here's what's happening with 23andMe. The genetic testing company 23andMe files for bankruptcy as CEO steps down. Social media users wonder what will happen to the customers' data.
Customers mail a saliva sample in, 23andMe would process it, send you the information about all the genes that make up who you are. Now, the company went public in 2021, and at one point, its market value was around $6 billion, but its fortunes have declined in recent years. It suffered a data breach a couple years ago, followed by a class action lawsuit. Its popularity plummeted, and on Sunday, the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. 23andMe's CEO and founder resigned. She says she will try to buy the company back and take it private, but no one knows who will ultimately be successful in buying 23andMe and becoming the new owner of the company and all the private and personal health data of its 15 million customers.
23 million customers. First of all, let me just say that I find that to be a lot of people that just seems to be why you it doesn't to me it never felt like it was valid. You know, you're going to trace my lineage all the way back to these different places. It just never felt comfortable. I never felt like they were going to report back with accurate information. Now, I'm not saying that it's completely wrong, but I just never felt comfortable, nor did I feel confident that I was going to get the proper information. So I never fell into the DNA situation. And I don't mean to be funny, but you know how it goes. We use DNA to see if that's your daddy. We ain't using DNA to see who your great, 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 great granddaddy is. Come on now. It's not gonna happen. And then some of the science behind it. In fact, I there was an article, I'm sorry, a video a couple years ago where this guy was saying that he used a DNA sample kit where he literally just took a piece of hair of his dog and sent it to the sample company, and they came back with a report, and he just knew it was BS. Now I don't know if that's true or not, and I do not recall it being actual 23andMe, but the same stuff, just different company titles. And also too, finding out who your great great grandpa was a movement not too long ago. I don't know if that movement is still the same. Dr. Henry Louis Gates, he had a story. No, I'm sorry. He had a TV show on PBS that pretty much dived into people's lineage. Um, so therefore, some people do hold it to be valuable. I personally do not. I don't find it to be deeply valuable. Um, all right, but since we are in the medical field, I want to continue. Before I go any further, let me do some housekeeping. Do not forget, this is brought to you by FlyNubianMoney.com. Again, FlyNubianMoney.com. This is where you go, where you want to grow. This is where you go, where you want to get your money up and your mind up. You text Queens to 87948. Again, text Queens to 87948. What's up, Linda? Good to see you this morning, my girl. I hope it's sunny in California. Yeah, I like Cali. Not to live, but I do appreciate Cali. Also, I would like to say, if you want to keep up with Madam President, text Madam, MADAM, to 87948. But since we are in the medical arena, let's stay there because I want to share with you this very viral story that happened recently. Look at this lady. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing this. So here's the difficult part. The difficult part is when you are in the medical field, there is a code of conduct, there is a bylaws, there's a trust, there is an agreement between the doctor and the patient that is just there. There is an oath that's taken. There is all these different things to ensure that you are dealing with a well-minded person, that there will be no gender or racial bias. But unfortunately, most American doctors, racism is an inheritance. That means that it is inherited and based on where you grew up, based on your social economic status, based on your readings, based on your parents. You inherit sometimes just racism. And it no matter what your intellectual ability is as a doctor, some doctors will still. I believe there's a part of being a doctor where they ask doctors, do you believe that this was a study? They asked doctors, can Black women endure more pain than white women. And the doctors responded over 80% yes. There's a belief that Black women can endure pain, have a higher tolerance to pain than white women. And if I was over the board of doctors, I would ask every doctor that question, and every doctor who said yes, they will not have the ability to be a doctor, because I don't care how intellectual, how medically inclined you are. If you are if you are behind in humanity, then I can't have you in a hospital room full of people. You're a liability, period, point blank. I need somebody that's interested in saving lives and interested in seeing people, everybody, as equal, versus a person can endure one pain, can endure more pain than the next. I personally do not agree with that stance. Now, some of you all may say, but here's what she said. She says that the doctors medically, they type this. When white patients, she said, needing meds. Black patients, she said, they put drug seeking. Why we don't need meds? Why we got to be seeking drugs? you know? And let me call a spade a spade. Black folks I know ain't sitting around trying to get no codeine, morphine. None of that stuff sound appealing from the Black folks I know. Most Black people that I personally have had a one-on-one experience with don't want addiction. So we don't even desire heavy pain pills, things with all types of stuff in it that's going to knock you out, have you sleeping for days. That's not our interest. Now, those soccer moms in the suburbs, that's a different story. Okay? They need a pill, they need a med for everything that's coming, for the schedule, for the kids, etc. So, anyways, let me just say this too. She said that when white patients come in, they put upset. But when Black patients come in, they put aggressive. So this is the language that is typically used. It's aggressive. Why is that? Why can't we be upset? If you go into the doctor and you're in pain, you're in pain, you're uncomfortable. It's upsetting. It's not aggression. It's not anger. It's upsetting. So all that to say that I want us to. She says that when the white patient says refusing to, when they refuse certain care, or when they deciding not to, but when it's us that don't want certain care, there's a refusal typed on us. So you already know the best way to beat the healthcare system is to stay healthy and don't need it. That's the best way to beat the healthcare system, is to stay healthy and don't need it. But that's not the story that everybody has. We should be able to go to the doctor and feel confident and feel patient and feel like we're going to have what's necessary to help us beat whatever it is that we're trying to beat. So keep that in mind. Also, this is to my young people, like myself, as young folks, as young 40 folks. I just want to say that we're at the age where we're advocating for elders. So because we understand this kind of language, we need to make sure that we're properly advocating for elders that are in our families. When we go to the doctor, we're speaking for them. We need to make sure that we're properly articulating what's going on and reading the notes of what's going on, making sure that the doctor pays proper attention, makes any kind of correction, and don't have any bias as it relates to giving people what they need. It requires advocacy, and I want us all to have it. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to stay in the medical field because I found this particular story, and it was a little bit disturbing, but I just want you to see how people are, because you know me, I like to say I'm a humanitarian. I like all the conversations as it relates to humanity, and it's important to me, and I care about people. So here's a story that I found. If you can see it, put nurse in the chat. If you can see the story, put nurse in the chat. So listen to this story. Utah nurse accused of killing her friend after convincing her she had cancer so she could cash in on a $1.5 million life insurance policy. But turns out no policy existed. All right, listen to this story. A Utah nurse is sitting in jail after allegedly finessing her so called friend into thinking she had cancer, all to cash out on her alleged 1.5 million life insurance policy. According to NBC News, 47-year-old Megan Sunwell convinced her 38-year-old friend Casey Lynn Terry that she was battling cancer. But here's the gag. Megan made it all up. Police say Megan had money problems and created the twisted plot for years, medicating Casey and building up trust, all while planning to collect on Casey once she passed. Over 28,000 text messages between the two, dating back to 2019, showing Casey fully believed the lie. The messages even included Megan talking about helping Casey die and how her money troubles would solve when got the life insurance payout. On the day things went left, first responders arrived to find Megan and Casey alone in the house from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Hours before, Megan texted asking if Casey wanted to take promethazine to be asleep when this is happening. I guess they set it up to kill her. Casey's uncle ended up calling 911 after Megan tried to tell him Casey had a DNR and didn't want to go to the hospital. Her family rushed in, believing she'd had terminal cancer for 4 to 5 years. But the truth is, Casey had no cancer and no health issues at all. Megan's now locked up in Utah County Jail with no lawyer on record, and the police found no life insurance policy, no DNR paperwork, and no power of attorney in Megan's name. Let me just say, this is the kind of crazy that you don't want at your doorsteps. Think about this. Think about this. I feel like I don't know what that rap song is, but it says you're getting better by the day, baby. But here's what I want to say. This is the kind of crazy that you don't want near your doorsteps. In fact, inside of the chat, put keep that away from me. Keep people like 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 that away from me. Could you imagine having someone in your life casually that you consider to be a friend, and they are plotting to get your life insurance policy, but they going out of their mind to take you out so that they can have your money? What in the world is wrong with people? But I wanted to show you. This is the behavior of people. I know we think this is unreal, unimaginable. This can never be. But it is real. It is imaginable, and it could be. But we don't want that. We don't want that for ourselves. All right, as you know, this is crazy. To fake cancer, to fake, having life insurance policies. It's just such an unnecessary thing. People like that also make me believe that they don't have much of a quality of life. I can't do that. I believe I got so much happening in my life of good. I can't sit around and figure out how to be lying for years at a time. It's disruptive to the quality of life that you want for yourself. In fact, if you want good things to happen to you, and I know that you do, and you will have those things happen to you, try to stop lying for a week. Just, I know I'm going left, but try, some of those things, some of the things that we've grown accustomed to that we feel like, oh, it's just a little white lie. No, stop it for a week and see how things start to open up. But guess what? You're going to learn how to talk. You're going to learn how to talk and stop lying. You're going to learn how to speak to people. You're going to learn how to say no. You're going to learn how to say, oh, unfortunately, I'm unavailable for that. You're going to learn how to say, oh, you're going to learn how to apologize. Because a lot of times we be lying because of what could happen, what somebody feel behind it. But you grow up and you start to learn how to speak. You start to learn how to apologize. Oh, I apologize about that. You don't have to keep lying about it. I want good things to happen to you. That's one of the reasons I'm giving you some advice that is very quality advice, like stop lying and see exactly how things open up for the week. Just give it a week. Don't say what you're going to do and you're not going to do it. Say you're going to put the effort in it. Don't lie. Don't overextend. Don't do what you can't do. Well, that's my time, guys. I will keep in touch, of course. I'll be on Instagram. I got to do a video on Instagram today. I just would like to say thank you so much for spending your time with me. We got 266 people in the chat so far, predominantly on Twitter watching Fly Nubian Queen, Madam President, YouTube. You should be subscribing to my YouTube channel as well, The Madam President on YouTube. You should follow me on Threads. You should follow me on Instagram. In fact, you should purchase my book, Matters of the Heart. You should join me in my course on Saturday morning, Navigating Corporate Stress. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for bearing with me as I have sun coming all out of ways. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.